Hey, a lot of things are happening. What's up, is a culture detective here investigating your favorite animes, and today I'm going to be doing two reviews. The first one being a very quick anime review of an anime that I finally finished binge watching a couple days ago or yesterday, and that anime is Shoshimin series, or the official English translation is Shoshimin How to Become Ordinary. So this is a new anime adapted from a novel written by Yonezawa Honobu, who is the same writer of the more popular novel slash anime Hyoka, which I haven't seen. And this anime is produced by a relatively new studio called Lapin Track. Now, it's actually really interesting because the novel actually came out like 16 years ago, but finally we have the novel being animated here. And essentially, Shoshimin series, by the way, Shoshimin literally means little people, or in this case, it means ordinary people. And it's actually a name of a subgenre of dramas in Japanese film history back in the 1940s and 50s and 60s when there are so many period films and war epics. There are also a lot of small dramas about ordinary people, like the films of Ozu. This is how the word Shoshimin can be applied. Okay. So essentially, the plot is that we have a high school boy and a high school girl. Of course, it has to be that way. A high school boy named Kobato Jogoro and the high school girl called Osanai Yuki. And yeah, Kobato Jogoro and Osanai Yuki. I'm gonna call them Kobato and Osanai. Kobato is a bit of a detective. Oh, he's just like me. Bro is literally me. Oh my god. And we also have Osanai, who, while is not much of a detective, she's still much more, I guess. She likes getting herself involved in dangerous situations because she's like a vigilante essentially. But at the same time, despite being a detective vigilante combo, they are also at the same time trying to be ordinary. They're trying to live their life simply and not get into trouble. They're not trying to attract attention or anything. They're just trying to lay low. So there is already a bit of a character conflict right at the start. Now, the OP and the EDs, I'm not too crazy about them. They're not that memorable or catchy, but I think aesthetically there are a lot of interesting things going on with this anime. First of all, the ED of this anime uses real life, live action footage where we have gorgeous, gorgeous photos of real, I believe it's Tokyo. I don't know if the town is actually in Tokyo. It's the name of the town is called Kira. Maybe it's like near Tokyo. Maybe it's not a real town. Either ways, we have some very beautiful real photos, and we have anime characters drawn into them, which I thought was really, really interesting. Given that using real life footage is one of the big no-nos in anime. Whenever an anime breaks that rule, I'm like, ooh, impressed. Second of all, most of this anime, actually all of this anime, is in 2.35 widescreen aspect ratio. Holy shit. Are we witnessing a huge change in the anime industry? Are the people in the anime industry finally learning about aspect ratios? Because this entire anime is shot in a 2.35 cinematic aspect ratio, where there's a black bar on top and bottom so that the screen appears wider. Now, that's a very interesting ratio to use considering how small this anime is, but that's even more respectable of a choice to make. Now, that's very interesting because the ED, the ending sequence, is in 16 by 9. So they decided to not use 2.35 for the ending sequence. So that's very interesting. Now, I really love low-key mysteries. I love slice of life mysteries, films, stories about real life that are very simple, but there's just a dash of mystery in it. And there are also a lot of multiple bottle episodes in this anime. You know, Fly in Breaking Bad, where they spend 40 minutes fighting a fly in a meth lab, where, well, there are multiple of those kinds of episodes in this anime. Obviously, it's about how to be ordinary. It's about living an ordinary life. So there's an entire episode where our two main characters try to figure out how another character made hot chocolate. And they spent an entire episode just deducing, okay, maybe he did this, maybe he did that. And then there's another episode where we're in this newspaper club and four people ate cream buns, but one of them is spiked with mustard. And whoever got the mustard bun needs to write the article, except all four of the members had the regular cream bun or jam bun instead. So they got Kobato here to deduce and figure out who is the real person who ate the mustard bun. And then immediately after that, there's an entire episode of Kobato trying to trick Osanai into thinking that he bought 2 grapefruit cakes instead of 3 because he ate one and it's so delicious that he wants even more than that. So he wants to trick her into thinking there's only 2. And I really love these episodes. These are very, very small ideas, small concepts, but they're being stretched out to the fullest, and we just hear nothing but dialogue, really. It's a very dialogue-heavy show. I also love the focus on desserts because I love desserts. I'm a huge dessert guy, so seeing a lot of desserts in an anime, it's great. I'm really enjoying myself. And there are also a lot of interesting visual choices here. Sometimes when two characters are talking, especially our two main characters, the location would suddenly change. Like they would be talking at school and suddenly they'll be standing in front of a lake or something. And there's something very Monogatari-esque about this, and it's interesting because I just finished Monogatari series second season, and there's something kind of Monogatari-esque about that kind of editing, but maybe it's because I just got off Monogatari series, so in some ways Shoshimin felt a little bit more underwhelming because Monogatari is obviously already way more visually eccentric, and whenever characters jump around in space and time in Monogatari series, we the viewers already know that we can't take the visuals literally. But for Shoshimin, most of it is very literal and straightforward, so sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Now we have to get into the cons, because this anime is not without its faults. First of all, there's a lot of brain gymnastics. I have to do a lot of brain gymnastics to figure out a lot of these, the way some of these mysteries get resolved feels very logically complicated. Maybe it's because the translation is not that accurate. I'm not sure, but it's just sometimes logically things just don't make a lot of sense. And then we have the last 4 episodes. By the way, this is 10 episodes long, not 12. In the 4th last episode, something happens. Okay, I'm gonna give a minor spoiler. There's a kidnapping scene. And that entire part, while it's interesting, it also felt like lazy writing. It's like the writer was like, okay, how do I make this interesting? A character gets kidnapped. But what unfolds after that just felt like lazy writing. Like, okay, of course that happens, and then suddenly everything's resolved and it just doesn't make any sense. However, the story actually justified it because the last 2 episodes complicates that incident even further than what it seems to be. So I think that kind of fixed it, but then now we have the ending on the last episode that is so weird and left field that it basically changed the whole genre or tone, where one of the characters is revealed to be like a mastermind, like he's James Moriarty or something. And it's very fascinating, but it's also such a what the fuck moment, because this is completely against everything I've seen in the anime so far. And I don't know if it's a silly change or a genius change. I guess the final note I would like to give is the music. The music is in general fine, but there's one track where it sounds like medieval music, like medieval flutes. And I feel like this track would have fit better in Mushoku Tensei or Frieren or something. It's kind of interesting that medieval flavored music would be used in this anime. But overall, this is a very fascinating anime. I didn't exactly get what I signed up for because of especially the ending, but it's still very interesting. There are definitely some really fascinating ideas here and there. I'm giving this one a strong 7 to a light 8 out of 10. So, have you watched Shoshimin series? Comments below let me know. Subscribe if you want more, and thanks for watching.